Welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and today I am working on letter A. I did just begin this project for the, April Anything Goes Junk Journal Challenge, hashtag AAGJJC, and this is in conjunction with DearJulieJulie, and I will link her Etsy shop and her YouTube channel below. And for letter A, I am going to make some aged acetate pockets. Now, when I was doing a flip through of one of my journals, I used some of my faux aged tape. Now, these two are actually already aged. I just added some to them. And someone asked me how I go about doing this. So I know that there are a lot of tutorials out there. So I'm going to let you look at those particular ones as well, but this is how I do it. And I think everybody has a different way of doing it, and that is fine. But I am going to use this technique to make an aged pocket, an aged acetate pocket. And I will cut this part off and then tape over the edge, but that's what it's going to look like on the page. And then I'll be able to slide a journaling card down there inside of it. And I think it's beautiful. And it uses alcohol inks, and that's what I used for this. I also have made aged tape with watercolor markers, but you have to glue them down afterwards because you put the watercolor markers on the sticky side of the tape. But for this one, I'm using the alcohol ink. Now, I do have this page. This is just an acetate packaging sheet, and this is dried alcohol ink on here. And one of the fun things I think about this, and this is probably gonna be all glary the whole time because everything's gonna be reflecting, and I apologize. But one of the fun things about alcohol ink is it will reactivate with more alcohol. So I am going to just show you that real quick. I'm going to put down some clear cellophane tape on this paper. Now I like to use the skinnier tape when I can find it, but this is just what I've got on hand. And I'm going to put 3 on there. And I'm going to put 1 over here as well, just so I can show you this. The colors that I like to use for the antiquing, the aged color is, these are from Ranger. This is butterscotch and mushroom and rust. I don't use a lot of the rust, and I use mostly the butterscotch, but it's a good combination. And then I also have alcohol blending solution, and I will show you that in a minute. First, I'm going to show you how this works. I always start with the lightest. You want to be well ventilated. You do not want to be in a closed up room. If you have to be, you might want to get a ventilation mask, or maybe you can step outside. And it does not take much. I'm just going to put a drop or 2 on each of these 2 pieces. And this one is the butterscotch. And you can see how it runs and it changes the edges, form little ridges and fluffiness and stuff. All right, and this is the rest. I'm just going to put a little drop on each of them. And you can see how right now they are blending together. And I'm just going to shift my paper around a little bit, let it run. And then I'm going to take the mushroom, which is the darkest one. I'm not sure if it's darker than the rust, but it's a different tone, obviously, because it's more brown. You don't want to do what I just did. I touched this to the tape. You don't want to contaminate it. At least it was on a clean part of the tape. And that's not running a lot until I tip it around. And you can see the 3 colors are blending together. The next thing that I do is I take this tool, and it's just a swab that's got a spongy applicator on the end. And I kind of mix it up. I don't mix it completely, although you could, but I like to have the different colors on there. Now, if I was to go back in and say add a little bit more of this butterscotch, do not use a heat gun on this. This is flammable. It says, danger, flammable. If I was to go back in and put another drop of this on there, you see how that's going to cause the colors to separate. And so depending on the effect that you want, you can put as much or as little on there as you want. I kind of like that, kind of don't. So I'm going to muddle it just a little bit. I'm just going to come in and kind of pounce with my little brush, swab, and you see how now it's actually like developing, I guess cells would be a good word for it. It gives it a nice splotchy look like old tape would have. And then you just let that dry. It doesn't take very long at all. Now on this piece over here, what I wanted to show you was, with this alcohol blending solution, I can reactivate the ink that is left, not the ink, alcohol, it is alcohol ink. I can reactivate the alcohol ink that is over here. And I can pull it over onto the tape. So all of this alcohol ink that is left on your cellophane packaging after you get done is not wasted. It's not going to be as intense because the alcohol blending solution dilutes it a little bit. But you can use a few drops and pull that ink over onto your tape and just keep reusing the ink until it is all gone. All right, so that is how I did my tape. And after my tape is dry, I peel it up and then I put it onto another piece of acetate to store it because it sticks on there. These two are old pieces. They were old already and they don't want to stick very well, so I'm going to have to glue them down when I go to use them. All right, so let's make the pocket. I'll set these aside to dry. Won't take them long at all. And this is the pocket that I want to make. And I just have that book page there so that you can get an idea of what it would look like on the page. I used wax paper whenever I did the pocket on this one. I don't know why, I just did. I have clear packaging here. See, is it glaring? There we go, I'll just turn it like that. And I'm going to, let's see, I need my scissors. And I'm just going to cut off the end that is not heat sealed, I guess. The crimped part here, I'm going to cut off the opposite end. Usually it's opposite the hang tag, and then I'll peel that part off. If you try to peel that off first, it works, but it's a little difficult. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut off right below the crimp on this one. I did not do that on my first prototype, but I can cut it off afterwards. And I am just going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to start with my butterscotch. Add a little bit of rust, not much. I just like the hint of the orangey red that it gives. Just go 1, 2, and up here 3. And it doesn't look like much right now. We're just creating the base coat. And then the mushroom. And I'll put a few more drops of that on there. And now I'm going to take my swab and I am going to go ahead and just cover the entire thing, mixing them all together, helping them to run into each other to create different levels and layers of color and thickness. Doesn't matter what direction you use the swab in. I do want to make sure that I don't have any blank spaces where there's no ink. There we go. And if you like it like that, you can leave it like that. Let's put it on the book page so you can see it. I kind of like that too. But I want to go ahead and go on to the next part where I come back again with my inks. And this time I'll start with the darkest, because it's going to create some circles and cells. 1, 2. See how it's spreading out and creating a fringe effect on the sides of the shapes, the droplets. We'll come in with the rest again. And then we'll come in with the butterscotch. And I'm just going to kind of help it to move a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with the alcohol blending solution and just kind of scatter a few drops over it, just like this. And it looks crazy. It takes a lot of steps, and I'm probably not doing any of this according to protocol. But the thing is, you can just play with it until you get something that you like, because it keeps reactivating. And I'm not real fond of that. I kind of wish that I had kept it the first way. But that's okay. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And I'm going to start with the butterscotch. And that may be the only one that I do. It looks like old film melting is what it makes me think of. I kind of like that. You do not, like I said, you do not want to use a heat gun. I do have a tool from Tim Holtz that's like a balloon or something, and you squeeze it and you can push the things around. You can push the colors around a little bit. I think I want just a little bit of this mushroom back in there. Not a lot. Whoops, I completely missed the page on that one. And I think I'm going to put one more splotch of the butterscotch in each of the splotches where I put the mushroom. And the thing is with this, you can't plan what you're going to do. Alcohol inks are very, very enthusiastic about where they go and what they do. And you just have to go with it, and you will get, I did the exact same thing on this one. This is the look that I got on the first one. And this is the look I get on the second one. Ooh, I kind of like that. Ooh, I really like that. Because it frames my little phrase there. Well, that's fun. So that is very similar to the way that I do the tape. And I like it. And to make it a pocket, you just take red line tape, which look, I have one wound minus the thumb width left on this roll, and go around the corners, and there's your pocket. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see if I can get both of these on the page. That one's not completely dry yet, so I don't want to put my thumb in it. Yeah, there we go. I think I may have put one more layer of ink on that second one than I did the first one. But it's okay. I like it. What do you think? How do you use your alcohol inks? Have you used alcohol inks? I'm still a beginner. I'm just playing. And I'm having fun with it. Just remember to get ventilated, because you'll get a headache or worse. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, be kind. Bye.